We'll try this one more. We'll try this one. We'll try this one more time and hope that it doesn't freeze up. As I was beginning this is the second time, I'm noticing that this computer is limping in a major way. So let me see if I can capture that same energy on this intro. There are no more jail bars behind me. It almost sounds like the outro of that movie Blow when George Young says there's no more white horses at my door or some shit. I can't remember exactly what he says. Anyways, hey, you remember how I used to have those jail bars in the background? Which, interestingly enough, was done with a green screen. That's right. That's not a real background right there. I'm not sitting by a pergola. And a grill, which is in that picture right there. It's a inside joke, so to speak. Potential job I was going to be doing over on Joe Does Stuff. It fell through. But yeah, it's crazy. That's a green screen right there. And behind that, what used to be jail bars on a green screen is actually real jail bars. Anyways, I know. All trivial nonsense. Hey, what's going on? It has certainly been a while since I have filmed an exclusive video for After Prison Show. My God, I've missed you guys. Forgive me, I've been away. I've been working my ass off, working my hands to the bone over on Joe Does Stuff, getting ready to start a roofing company like all of a sudden. I'm intrigued with roofing and the amount of money that can be in roofs as well. But anyways, hey, I find myself here for a very good reason, and I know that I'm super late to the party, but I have to address the fact that what everybody already knows, 3 people tagged me in this. Derek Groves was just recently apprehended, the last remaining fugitive of the 10 who escaped from the Orleans Parish Justice Center back in July. I believe it was July. Maybe it was June. It was 5 months ago. I know that much. And just a mere couple of days ago, I believe it was 2 days ago at the time of me filming this, which is Monday evening, Derek Groves was just apprehended in an Atlanta neighborhood in a house in a crawl space next to an air handler for an HVAC system. Living in pure tea frickin' filth. In prison, he would have been referred to as a frickin' Viking. The way that this dude and his girlfriend were living up in this rental property that I believe was absolutely bombarded and raided in such a way that they had to board up the garage and the windows. I've got footage of the house after Derek Groves was apprehended, and the garage is boarded up, as are some windows. So I imagine they rained down like frickin' SEAL Team 6 when it came to apprehend this dude. 5 months he remained on the loose, on the lam, and it is crazy to think that this Cinderella story just ends kind of like a dud, if you ask me. I had made speculations that this guy was in Nova Scotia somewhere, living his best life, possibly learning a new language, maybe living in Tahiti, maybe Turks and Caicos. Nope, he was in frickin' Atlanta, like one state away from Louisiana. The 2 who got apprehended in Texas made it farther than anybody else of the 10 who escaped. And it's crazy to think that Derek Groves wasn't but probably less than 200 miles away. And it just isn't as glamorous or heroic as was left to the imagination prior to him getting arrested. And to go ahead and throw even more salt on the wound, it's not like the police did anything in this matter, neither. Now, I don't know all of the details. I haven't even read one story in relation to this. I haven't had time. I've seen a couple of videos. We're going to look at some of those here today. And from what I've gathered, it all stemmed from an argument between him and his girlfriend in the morning. I guess it was like a loud argument. Maybe the neighbors heard this. From the videos that I've seen, it's being reported, and, take this with a grain of salt, that it was his girlfriend who turned him in. Maybe she just got sick of his shit. Sick of the way that he was laid up in the house, not doing shit. I guess allegedly chewing nothing but freaking bubble gum and leaving like the cans of the bubble gum all over the place. Let's go ahead and look at a couple of videos real quick and just see what we can make of this. See what I can make of this, because again, Joe is hella late to the party, which is crazy to think, especially with as much as I covered the New Orleans escape. I had to cover this. It's over for bro. So I'm guessing this is after Derrick Groves was apprehended, possibly sitting for an arraignment, maybe getting a bond hearing. Who the hell think they're giving this guy a bond? It says it's over for bro. Yeah, you know, Buddy had 4 bodies. 4 bodies. So, you know, feel how you will for this guy. Do you feel sorry for him? Like, here's the other crazy thing. The comments section, this video right here is coming from TikTok. The comments section is insane on this thing, talking about free Derrick Groves. The sad thing is his original charge, he was in jail for killing the people who killed his grandmother. That is not true. Like, people just took from this what they would just to make this guy heroic, when sadly he was a murderer who's probably going to end up with 4 teardrops when he gets to Angola, where he's going. And in relation to killing the people who killed his grandmother, that is not true. His grandmother was killed long before he was even born, and it was a dirty cop and a hitman, and they both were apprehended in relation to that particular tragedy taking place with his grandmother being killed. Lord, give him a second shot at life, another comment said. I mean, he kind of had one. He had a 5-month freaking furlough, so to speak, but not to make light of this at all, the caption of this video actually is kind of a gut punch right here, and it says he will never see daylight again. He had a nice run. Yeah. And it is over for bro. All right, let's go ahead and see what kind of information we can get from this. Oh, yeah, that's another thing, too. They said that when Derrick Groves was being escorted into the cop car, he was blowing a kiss. Was he blowing a kiss to his girlfriend? Was it the girlfriend who turned him in? What is going on?
Derrick Groves got caught. We already knew he got snitched on. That was a given. But I thought it was going to be by someone who wanted the reward money or some shit. But no, the person who snitched on Derrick Groves was his girlfriend,
Look
bro.
at how they was
This whole
living.
time I thought this motherfucker was on a boat halfway to Ethiopia, laying low, switching locations and shit. Nah, the motherfucker's hiding spot was his girlfriend's crib in Atlanta. Apparently, in the morning, they had a screaming mess that was so loud the neighbors could hear it.
Or the
and
father
then
of
just
one
a
of the
couple
escapees.
hours later, after their argument, the SWAT team came kicking down their doors. So he pissed her off, and then she called the cops on his ass to get him up out of there. Now, I'm really wondering if she did it for the love of the game or if she did it for the reward money, because...
Okay, so this is just somebody's talking head hot take on this situation. Yeah, and again, I don't have any other information than what I'm getting from these videos, but I want to talk more about the living conditions, the squander, the filth that they were living in. You know, they said that there was an argument between him and his girlfriend. Was it because of the fact that he's just laid up, making a mess? He ain't even doing the dishes. She's out here going to work, working 2 jobs. I don't freaking know. But she's going to work, and he's laid up, not doing a damn thing.
Children's shoes, wigs, clothing, buckets, and tinctures labeled with the names of flavors.
Oh, he was up in here. This is where he was.
Show me where he was.
This is the guy
and
that owns
the
the
crawl
house.
space where Derrick Groves was found hiding in a Southwest Atlanta basement. Authorities tracked him down to Honeysuckle Lane nearly 5 months after authorities say the 4-time convicted killer climbed through a hole behind a jailhouse toilet and scaled a fence to escape.
Wow. What is your reaction to finding out that someone with those kinds of charges was living in your house?
I was shocked. I said, you gotta get the hell out of here.
The home's owner, Richard McQueen, let us inside. Most of the home's entrances had been breached and the home trashed.
Wow.
McQueen said the tenant was a young woman. He said he wasn't sure when she started renting because he'd been out of town.
They paid rent.
Wow, look at the surveillance cameras that they had right there. It almost reminds you of, Shit, I don't know, that movie Belly or Scarface when they were coming to get Tony Montana. Can you imagine looking at those surveillance screens right there and just seeing all them authorities pulling up and just knowing that it's over? What do you do in that moment? Do you smoke that last blunt roach? Do you put on some socks and some whites? Because you got to be prepared. You have to be prepared for the end, for them to get you. I wonder if he thought he would hold court in the street. I wonder why he didn't. I wonder if his life inside was better than his life outside. Maybe it was. Certainly looked like he was full up with all that bubble yum all over the damn place. We don't need the audio on this one. So this post right here says Derek Groves' house for the past 3 months. They're just going to drive by this thing right here and look at the garage. We got the police tape all around this thing. We got the window boarded up, front door boarded up, garage boarded up. Yeah, man, that is crazy right there. Who pays for those damages? Homeowners got to sue the girlfriend to recoup any of that money, which you know that he never will. Somebody, top comment on this says, who is Derek Groves? LOL. Almost 3,500 likes on that comment. And it's crazy to think a story that captivated the nation for months. 10 escapees breaking out in a prison break-like escape in the middle of the night. Brazen, running across 5 lanes of traffic in the heart of New Orleans. Just 5 months later, how the world forgets. Anybody talking about Antoine Massey anymore? Crazy to think what was once folklore goes out in just a little bit of a ball of flames. Not even that. Just a little bit of a pff, like a dud. There's no crazy ending to this. Buddy probably got turned in by his girlfriend, who got sick of his shit. She saw no way out except for a pot of gold at the end of that rainbow. There was light at the end of that tunnel, shaped like money signs. I wonder if she gets that $50K reward money. Because on one hand, you was aiding and abetting, but you did turn him in. I do believe that there's some fine print at the bottom of the Crime Stoppers reward hotline that probably says something like that. You can't hide somebody and still be eligible for the reward money. Looks like a pretty well-to-do neighborhood in Atlanta. And here's the crazy thing. You mean to tell me nobody ever saw this guy? Come on. They knew he was there. You know, the neighbors, the hood. Yeah, they knew he was there. But ain't nobody. Matter of fact, I can't say that. I don't think anybody thought that he was there. Because it doesn't, like, there is no such thing as a cred or a code of the streets anymore. $50,000 is $50,000. $20 is $20. Think of what somebody will do for $20. But 50,000 smackaroos? Shit. Most people would probably turn their own damn grandmother in for that type of money. And this is it right here. Escaped New Orleans inmate blows a kiss at the camera as he's detained after 5 months on the run. Look at the cops being buddy-buddy with them. I'm sure they probably treated him pretty fairly. Hey, you want an extra hot dog tray, Mr. Derek Groves? Could you sign this roll of toilet paper for me? I mean, you are essentially folklore. The last of the Mohicans. Crazy to think. Hiding in a crawl space next to an HVAC system when you saw them coming on that surveillance camera. That's exactly what Buddy did. He saw him, his freaking Junes probably puckered up real tight, and he tried to crawl. There was nowhere else he could go. The house was surrounded. I wonder if they came in the middle of the night or they just came right at noon. They said the argument happened first thing in the morning, and there's no clear definitive answer as to whether it was a neighbor who called the police or the girlfriend who called the police. But whatever the case was, the next thing we got is Derek Groves right here blowing a kiss at the camera. Farewell. 5 months from now, nobody will even know who this guy is, and that's the crazy thing about it. But there's one final thing that I want to leave you with in relation to the Derek Groves saga, in relation to the Orleans Parish Justice Center escape saga. And that is, hey, maybe Buddy wasn't laid up in the house being a slob, being a bum, just some guy on the couch. maybe he actually was working during the entire time that he was on the run, 5 months. Maybe that comes into play during his escape trial. Remember, they're going to throw the book at these guys when it comes to the sentencing for this escape. I'm not sure if any of the other former escapees have already been sentenced for the escape, but they were trying to give each one of them 10 additional years. For a guy like Derek Groves, who's about to have 4 life sentences, what does it even matter? That's all he was waiting on, was sentencing for those murder charges, which also took multiple trials for him to be convicted. I just want to throw that in as well, too. But again, there was speculation that Derek Groves was actually working at Walmart while on the run when this picture surfaced, somewhat breaking the internet. You know, they say everybody's got a doppelganger, a twin, and I'll be damned. Yo, if that's a lady right there, you fooled me, because I damn sure was thinking like everybody else was. That's God bless it, Derek Groves in a wig right there, which is also interesting because they mentioned in that filth that he was living in for the last 5 months in that man's rental property. Not only did they find all of those bubble yum wrappers all over the place, they also found a bunch of wigs in the house as well, too. Did Derek Groves, in fact, take a note from the playbook that I narrated as I was covering this escape, saying if these guys are going to stand any chance in hell, they better be dressing up like white chicks out there? Did I inadvertently give Derek Groves? I'm just kidding. Who knows? Maybe he did watch an After Prison Show video and be like, white chicks? That is a damn good idea. I'm about to go work at Walmart. Folks, what a fizzled out end to such a folklore type of a saga. The Orleans Parish Justice Center escape that took place earlier this year can finally be put to bed, with that final remaining fugitive, Derek Groves, just recently being apprehended. Do you think we'll ever hear about these guys again? Should we? What do you think in relation to Derek Groves being apprehended? Do you have any additional information as to what exactly happened? Possible theories? Share them down below. I'd be interested to hear what you have to say. Hey, look, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did so, please leave a like and a comment letting me know exactly what you thought about this. And as always, until next time, enjoy life, the free world, never take a moment for granted, and make the most of every day. Peace!